the blackest man in the room.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay, now I just said 3 billboards.
The 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, I believe is the full title of this. Yeah, it is. And
this was Netflix, right?
No. This is a theatrical run. It's playing, I believe, at the Coolidge, a few indie theaters around the city. I was excited about this one because it's directed and written by one of my favorite guys working now, Martin McDonagh, which is, if you're not familiar with him, he did In Bruges. And Seven Psychopaths. I remember when I first saw In Bruges.
One for one.
Yeah, when I first saw In Bruges, I went to the theater and it was advertised as this like quirky little comedy, and then you walk in, you're like, wow, this is some really serious kind of heavy stuff.
In Bruges was not a comedy. I felt like they'd throw me a curveball when I caught that.
Right, it was just poorly advertised and shopped out there.
Colin Farrell doing
a good Irishman. It was kind of him coming back to just play this drunk Irish guy. You're really good at that. So he also has a brother, the McDonagh brother, John, who's done Cavalry, War and Everyone, and The Guard. So it's a very talented, Irish family there they have going.
Okay, go ahead. Good for that.
So this one, like some of his other films, is kind of set in motion by some extreme violence. And here in this, we find Frances McDormand, who's just this angry, kind of this bitter woman, and we come to realize why is because her daughter was raped and murdered and set on fire, not necessarily in that order. And the story, the way it goes is we find out that this happened to her. So this is 7 months later, and there's still no leads in the case. They have no suspects, and basically the case is kind of, being dragged out and nothing's really come of it. So she buys these 3 billboards that lead into the town of Ebbing, and on the billboards it says, and still no arrests. How come Chief Willoughby and raped while dying? And so she puts those up in the town, and then it's about what kind of happens to that town and the anger directed at her for putting up there. Because basically she goes on her own way and exposes the police and exposes the patriarchy that is kind of ruling this town and calling them out, much like a lot of the stuff we're seeing now with like protests and things. And it's really about the backlash that comes with that. Okay. So it's just like, even this woman has suffered such a horrible, tragic loss that when she directs her anger directly at them in such a blunt way, at the police, that comes with its own set of problems and its own set of backlash, not just from the police, but from the people in the town, and saying like, why are you doing this? It's such a, a blunt and aggressive way of doing that, and not really siding, not really siding with her and her pain.
This sounds like
America. No, it does. I mean, it's legit.
It's a white version of Zooman and the Sign. Zooman and the Sign is the play that was made into a movie. There's a few different versions. One with Giancarlo Esposito.
All right.
Yeah. About a black family living in the hood. A family's daughter is killed in a drive-by. Just some, gang hostility on the street. Yeah. And the father, the police do nothing. No one in the neighborhood saw anything, because that's just the mentality. So he puts a sign outside his house, big sign that says, "The police let my daughter get murdered. The town is doing nothing."
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I think that's the exact quote. But it sounds like very similar. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just like she is so Frances McDormand is so hell bent now, she's just so consumed by anger and grief that she just all of a sudden just no holds barred, no prisoners kind of attitude, attacking everybody and trying to, I don't know so much get some answers, but just to kind of attack these institutions that seemingly are like doing nothing, and she just feels so helpless. What the movie is not, though, it's not a whodunit. It's not this like slow build up suspense where they're gonna bring somebody into justice. It just kind of no, not really. It does.
It's a slapstick comedy. I knew it.
Yeah, right. There's some funny parts, but it's all bathed in this level of despair. But Frances McDormand is so good in it, and she's so just this forward thinking. Really, this has this agenda that she wants to to expose all this stuff. But the cast in general is so amazing. We've got Woody Harrelson as the cop, as Willoughby. Sam Rockwell is another racist police officer. John Hawkes is her ex-husband. Peter Dinklage is in this thing. Lucas Hedges is her depressed son. He was what was he was in it? Manchester by the Sea was the last one he was in. But just a great cast. Yeah, absolutely up and down. And the best part of this movie is really just kind of the dialogue, the back and forth that these people have. And he writes. I mean, he's a playwright before he's a director, and so he has a great knack for writing punchy dialogue that's moving and non-PC and he just putting his points across on the page, and that really comes through.
Prestigious playwright turned screenwriter Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I mean,
who makes a lot more money than all of us.
Yeah. I mean, the sad part is, this is something that I think communities of color, well, especially the black community, will like Tyler Perry do actually, because what drew me into even when I saw the trailer for this movie is that story of her being told, this is not proper for you to do this.
Right.
This is not okay for you to do this, which is something that many marginalized people are constantly hearing over and over and over again.
Well,
this isn't a place for you to talk about your oppression. This isn't a time to talk about the fact that you've been sexually assaulted or you've been a victim of race.
Is the best time?
So this is not proper. Yeah. This has been told over and over again to people who have been victimized.
Well, it's just it's a beautiful. It seems like a beautiful story. Yeah, the helpless feeling of like nothing's being done. No one's doing anything. Like this is
telling me to wait.
Of course, her doing these signs isn't going to really solve anything, but it's just this like kind of like this big middle finger to you. It's just like, what are you doing? What exactly are you doing? But the story is a little bit muddied too. It's a little bit more complex than that, because we do find that Woody Harrelson as police officer Woody, he does sympathize with her, but he's also a sick man. He's dying of some form of cancer that he has. And so a lot of people in the movie feel like, wow, you're attacking this guy and he's dying. It's like, well, my daughter was brutally murdered. You know what I mean? So like who's right and who's wrong is kind of this, this line that you're going to have to draw for yourself, and that, and I don't know what side you're going to end up on, but it's a fascinating movie. I would definitely recommend seeing it. It's definitely worth your time checking out for the cast alone. You're not going to see a movie like this with just that strong of a bill up and down it. So yeah, that's all I really want to get into with it, because the beauty is in the details that you're gonna have to go check out that I won't spoil it for you here. But yeah, this is a solid movie, and I really enjoy Martin McDonagh. So I'm really excited for future works that he has. Definitely a thumbs up from me.
Crazy. That's awesome.
All right, Black Adam Willis gave the word.
Gave the word.
You got to see 3 billboards
outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna three billboards outside of Aurora, Wisconsin.
Illinois, like Wayne's World. Yeah. It takes place in the same universe as Wayne's World, actually.
Oh wow. Okay. So it was Glenn that killed the girl. Now I get it.
It was Glenn. I hear you're doing something. That's good. People need a distraction. I wish somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head.
Oh, jeez. All right, so the movie's called 3 Billboards. If you have anything to say about it, maybe you've seen it, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com. Let us know what's going down, and hopefully you're watching us on twitch.tv/thegeekdown. If you are, you can jump in the chat, let us know what's going on. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to my man, Just Johnny.
Yeah.
Because you have the inside stuff on Jotun.